Good evening, friends. Today we have a very special guest who we already know and who's been supporting the SSR movement all the way, and also a very talented actress and dancer, Nivedita Trivedi. Welcome, Nivedita, to our show. Yeah. Nivedita has been a part of the television industry and has seen some of the kind of scenes that many have not known about. She will speak to you candidly about her life and about the infamous casting couch as well. She will not be mentioning names of anyone. I would request you viewers on your part also not to name people in your remarks. So let us start, Nivedita, with your childhood and how you got interested in whatever you're doing right now.
I was at the age of 3 when my father took me to watch movie Nagina. So
Yeah,
what a beautiful day to have my interview when today
yeah,
we are celebrating Sri Devi's 10th death
yes,
anniversary.
yeah,
So when I watched that movie, I was so influenced by Sri Devi that
yeah,
I came home and I started dancing on the same tunes. And my father was pleasantly surprised to see that, there is a talent.
yeah,
And the first thing he did was he put me into a classical dance school.
yeah, yeah,
So from the age of 3, I have been dancing and making him proud. I'm
yeah.
sure wherever he is today, he will be proud of me. So
So, did you grow up in Bombay or
yeah, I
where
was
was your
I was
childhood?
born and
Yeah,
brought up in Kalyan, which is a
yeah,
suburb of Mumbai.
yeah,
So eventually, then my father worked in railways, so we got a railway quarters and we moved in proper Mumbai, Sion,
yeah, mm,
and from there the career and everything started. But
yeah,
as you are part of the Mumbai crowd, you usually get influence because we get a lot of opportunity in Mumbai. So that's the best part to showcase your talent. So
yeah,
I won best dancer award at university level,
yeah,
and that's where the people from industry had come.
yeah,
So they approached me, why don't you be a part of Boogie Woogie? That time it
yeah.
was a very famous dance
Yes,
competition.
yes. I think it was
So
Javed Akhtar as
yeah,
Javed
Javed,
Jafi.
Javed,
Yeah,
Naved,
yeah,
both of
yeah, yeah,
them.
yeah,
So they said you don't even have to go through the audition. We have seen your performance. Why don't
yeah.
you come? Because I mean, 25 colleges were competing, and I won the best dancer award.
Oh,
So, but my father was very reluctant because I come from a traditional Brahmin family.
yeah,
So
yeah,
he was opposing. I mean, dance is good,
yeah,
classical dance is fine, but he was never happy with my decision of going
yeah.
because we were not even allowed to wear sleeveless at home. Can you imagine? Even today, if you see my wardrobe, you will never find me wearing that because he never allowed. He said, "You get married and then you do what you want. I will
Yeah.
not allow you."
Uh,
So he was that protective. And
yeah.
here I was rebelling, as a teenager. No, I want to explore my
Were you
wings.
the only daughter?
No, I have a younger sister, but
Yeah, yeah,
she is a shy introvert person, and
uh,
I'm
uh,
an extrovert one.
uh,
And because of dance, I used to get a lot of, opportunities and attention. Very attention seeker as a kid. So, so then then he said that only on one condition I'll allow you to go enter the industry. I said, what is that? I said, you will not even wear a sleeveless dress
uh,
ever.
uh,
So can you imagine?
yeah.
I am supposed to go into an industry where I'm not supposed to even wear a
Yes,
sleeveless. But
yes,
I took it on a dare. I said,
yeah.
okay, no problem. I'll keep your promise. But now let me go. And that's how the journey started. But obviously, he never gave me money even for photo shoot. So it was my friends who chipped in our pocket money, and that's how my photo shoot happened.
Yeah.
And that is where my first experience of, casting couch
How
came.
old were you at that time?
I was 17,
Ah,
17, yeah. So I was in college. I just entered college, and
yeah,
that's how it
yeah,
happened. So uh, we think that it is the casting directors and the producers who try to spoil you, but that is far ahead. The
yeah,
first encounter, which ma'am, I will be sharing my
yeah,
do's and don'ts for
yeah,
teenagers
yeah.
also who want to explore
Absolutely.
an
Mm,
opportunity. Even parents, they should listen to this because that will be helpful for them. They
yeah.
can be cautious enough as
Yes, yes,
my
yeah,
seniors helped me,
mm,
so I will narrate you the incidents
yeah,
accordingly. So here, the first encounter was because I met a senior uh,
yeah.
very soon in the industry, and she was like an angel for me.
Mm,
So everything and anything I used to share with her. So I used to call her Didi very fondly, and she was there. So she used to obviously guide me in the right direction. So she was the one who told me that your photo shoot is going to happen, and obviously, if in case you're wearing deep cut dress and everything, just ensure that you're tucking towels around your neck.
Yeah.
And I was like, why? Because
Mm.
she said it is a makeup man who will touch you at the wrong places in name of putting
Ah,
foundation.
ah, ah.
So yeah, that was
Oh.
such a small tip, but it helped, because no, it becomes very embarrassing if you're
Yeah,
new
yeah.
and you can't
And you
say
don't know.
anything, you're
Yeah,
scared,
exactly. Yeah, yeah.
and you don't want to make any fuss
Yeah, and
at
it's
the first shoot.
mainly Nivedita, it's also this fear that makes people keep quiet.
Yes, they do.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, because you're a teenager, you don't know
Yeah,
anything, and somebody
yeah,
touching you at wrong places, you don't know
yeah,
how to
yeah.
react. And
Yes.
plus, in my situation, the problem was that, uh, 1 minute, yeah, that
Yeah,
I was anyway rebelling from my parents, so that I can't even go back and tell them,
yeah,
otherwise they
yeah.
will stop me completely. So where should I
Yes.
go?
Mm.
So I remember that, and I ensured that I was very smartly putting the towel and
Yeah.
doing, and he was finding it very odd, why this girl is doing this, and I like, no, no, uncle, please, I find it very this time, please
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah.
So, that was my first thing which I had escaped. The second thing she told me was of the photographer, because photographer will pastor you, and
Yeah.
they'll make you feel you are I mean
Yeah.
you are the most beautiful girl on the
Yeah.
earth,
Yeah.
and they will give you the work
Mhm.
immediately looking at your photographs, and they
Mm.
will pamper you, and then they will try to put their hands around your neck or your
Yeah.
waist.
Mm. Mm.
That's how it starts.
Mm.
So that was the second tip which I remembered very clearly, and I always kept a safe distance.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
eventually, the photographer and the makeup man realized that this girl you cannot mess around with,
Yeah.
and the photo shoot happened.
Mm.
And because of my dance background, acting came naturally, because in classical dance you portray different,
Mm.
characters.
Yeah.
So my audition went well. In first take, I remembered the lines, and I
Yeah.
delivered. It came naturally to me.
Yeah.
So obviously it was preferred and liked by many people, and that's how I got into production offices, which had that time we're doing daily soaps.
Yeah.
So there you start with small work because you don't have anybody from industry backing you.
Yeah.
So either it is a secretary's role or a servant's role, which I've done, you know. So, but because I wanted to be there,
Actually,
so
Nivedita, after Sir, the movie Sir, I think the servant's role has become quite important.
absolutely don't
That
ask
was an
about it.
excellent role. Yeah.
And then in fact, in my one episode of CID, where
Huh.
I was a servant, but I was an eyewitness of a murder. It
Yeah.
was aired so many times that
Yeah.
I actually became popular because being a servant. So
Yeah.
for
Mm.
me, it was work. It was a pocket money, easy
Yeah.
money. So, and I just wanted to prove to my father. That was the whole objective, that I can be there.
Yes. Yes.
So and things started moving. So obviously the checks kept coming, and I was having a good life. On weekends I used to go, and daily morning shift, 8 to 8
Yeah.
is what I used to attend. And then there was up downs. I remember missing my last train, local train. So whole night I had stayed at the other station.
Oh. Oh my God.
So yeah, because that was like the shoot went off till like 11:30 or 12 o'clock. By
Yes.
the time the packing and pack up
Yeah.
happened and everything, I missed the train.
Yeah.
I was and because my father was in railways, it
Yeah.
really helped me, because he had given me that tip, that in case you get stuck at the railway station, never ever spend on the platform.
Yeah.
Always go to the railway retiring
Waiting.
room.
Yeah. Waiting room.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and just approach them. So and I told my father's designation, I'm so and so, please allow me because I can't stay out. And I was allowed. So these are things, small things for people who will come to Mumbai.
Yeah.
They can approach, and people do understand that, oh, you are a kid, and they allow you for that night. And then
Yeah.
I picked up the morning, and that time we didn't even had mobiles.
Yeah.
So you can imagine the plight at home. That whole night I never reached home.
Yeah.
So, and I remember having a big fight with my father. I
Yeah.
mean, morning 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
So, but then I was adamant. I said
Yeah.
nothing doing. I am
Yeah.
listening to your thing that I'm now going to expose. You
Yeah.
have to give me a chance.
Yeah.
So that continued, the fight. In fact, at home, it was very, very different
Yeah.
atmosphere
Yeah.
altogether. My mom used to get sandwiched between both of us, how to manage now.
Uh,
Because she was scared that if they try to stop me, I will run away or something
hmm,
like that.
hmm.
So they were allowing
What
it,
was
but
it,
they were cautious.
Nivedita? What was it that you liked about this field? What was it that attracted you to this field? When you started working there, what was it that really attracted you to this field?
Actually, it was recognition because the industry
Yeah,
gave me name, fame,
yeah,
and
yeah,
money, pocket money.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
my father used to not give me that much money.
yeah,
So, as a teenager, you need to spend, no?
yeah, yeah,
So, yeah, and a lot of recognition because
yeah,
people used to
yeah,
come and take my autograph. I remember
yeah,
in trains. So
hmm,
I used to feel, oh wow, I'm somebody,
yeah,
and that actually takes a toll on you eventually, which I will tell you.
hmm,
How things happen when people start noticing you. Also, you pay a heavy price
yeah, yeah,
because you have to be always perfect.
hmm,
Like I remember having chipped nail polish once. I
hmm,
was coming and we were very tired with the shooting. In
yeah,
front of shooting, it is the makeup man who makes you perfect, like a doll. You are all
yeah,
set up and you are ready. But after the shoot, you don't care. You're
yeah,
so
yeah,
tired that you have to go home.
hmm,
And then anybody and everybody used to come and sit next to me in the train and then start talking. And I was exhausted. I wanted to sleep, but you can't sleep because they will think you're rude. You're trying to
yeah,
act,
hmm, hmm,
funny. And
hmm,
then they will ask, "Oh, you're wearing this shoes, or you're wearing this, you're carrying this brand purse." So people start judging you. So you're always on a constant pressure of
yes,
being
yes,
perfect,
yeah,
and that was irritating at times. I said, come on guys, so what,
yeah,
so I had to give back some answers saying that yeah, in front of camera makeup man does the everything,
yeah, yeah,
but now I'm not shooting now, so I can be
yeah,
like this.
yeah,
So but the people should never understand that. They thought
yeah, yeah,
celebrities means, oh, you are supposed to
yeah,
be perfect,
hmm,
and then you end up spending more on brands,
hmm,
and then your expenditure goes up, and then you get trapped into that vicious cycle. Then you start working more for money,
yeah, yeah,
and then it goes on and on. So my second encounter of casting couches where when I was doing the small role, it was okay. Nobody
yeah,
was recognizing me. But
yeah,
it so
yeah,
happened that somehow I was very fond. I mean, people, assistant directors, favorite, because I used to
hmm,
give taken one shot.
yeah,
So that used to save their time. So any small role, they used to call me because she will come, she will do, and she will leave. So that was the best part of me. So then they used to call me fondly Little M. Actually, this is the name of an actress of 80s.
yeah,
I can't take her name, but
yeah,
I'll throw some hints.
yeah,
My
hmm,
eyes are very much like her.
yeah,
And she went to Dubai for some time.
hmm.
So they used to tell me that, someday you are going to get a call from Dubai also. And I used to get very scared about
Okay,
it.
now I understood who.
Yeah. So they used to call me Little M.
Yeah,
And that's how I became popular because that's how the word spread, that there's one girl who exactly looked like her.
yeah,
And then I used to get more calls and more work
hmm,
and more money.
hmm,
So they there it so happened that I was been auditioned for a supporting actress role, and obviously I cleared it. And I did a good. I think it was for a month or something. It was a good work for
hmm,
me and a lot of money because
yeah,
then the paycheck was good.
hmm, hmm,
And suddenly an opportunity came. Said, why don't you try for the main role?
yeah,
Now, for the main role, the production office had the clauses
hmm,
that it will be for 2 to 3 years contract,
yeah,
and you cannot do any other production office work. And I was into 4 5 production office, and then the amount and everything calculation, and then there were people from the set. Okay, now here is a question that please do not believe
hmm,
just because they are there with you and they are
hmm,
working, they are your colleagues, that means they
hmm,
are your well wishers.
yeah, yeah,
So here came the catch
hmm,
that suddenly gossiping starts around
hmm,
you. Oh, we heard, you are getting this opportunity, you are going
yeah,
to be auditioned for the main role.
yeah,
Do
yeah,
you know what preparation you have to do? And I was very naive. I said,
hmm,
I don't know. I thought the same thing, do your makeup and do your lines, go act. If you get, you
hmm,
get. So no, no, no. You know what? You have to be very good with the producer. And I was like, what do you mean by that?
hmm, hmm,
So no, no, no. Be very comfortable.
hmm, hmm,
And here was a lady producer.
hmm,
So I was like, what comfortable I should be, and you have to make happy a lady producer means what
Yeah.
exactly? So I was wondering that how it is possible also,
Mm,
you know,
mm,
a lady, you know. So they said, no, 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 it's okay. Nowadays everything is fine. People
mm,
do have preferences. You will
mm.
have to work, and you know, it's okay. Gender preferences, people do change,
Uh, uh,
and everything was going monso for me. I was not understanding. So they said,
mm,
no, it's okay. It's just a matter of one night, you know.
uh,
I was like, okay, I'm supposed to. First thing, it was so difficult for me to even, you know,
mm.
accept that
Imagine. Yeah,
such offer is coming to me.
yeah, yeah,
So they say, no, no, we all have gone through it. So there is nothing wrong in it. See, in this industry, people do trade off, you know,
yeah.
exchanges, friendly exchanges happen.
Mm,
So you don't have to fear. They
mm,
are all nice people. It is just matter of one night and then you forget.
mm,
And if you are scared, you know, you can always end up drinking. And I was like, drinking? My father will know, he will kill me. So then I said, now what to do? Because
mm, mm.
that was the only way for getting to
Mm.
that audition.
Yeah.
And then somebody came and whispered, you
Mm,
know, it's okay. After all, she's a lady.
mm,
What will happen? You're
mm,
not going to
mm,
get pregnant. Please
mm.
understand that.
Oh.
So, you know, this is
Mm,
how they brainwash
mm,
you
mm, mm.
that you should get into this.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
all have gone, nothing
Mm,
wrong in it. So don't worry. So, and what happens when you're part of the industry?
mm.
When everybody is doing the same thing,
Yeah, yeah,
you don't feel it is a odd or a wrong thing.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I was so influenced by all
Mm,
those talks.
yeah.
I to one day I agreed to it. Can you
Uh,
imagine? And I said, okay, if everybody is doing one, maybe you know I am the one who is doubting it, and it's okay. It's matter of one night, and I won't get pregnant, no, because the person is lady. You know, that's how that's how
yeah,
I was manipulated,
yeah,
and
yeah,
that's
yeah.
how they manipulate you.
Mm, mm,
So as a teenager, it's very difficult to understand all these things.
yeah. Mm,
And somehow I ended up I went for shopping because she had some preferences about dressing. Can you
yeah.
imagine? So
Mm,
you're
mm.
supposed to wear that kind of
Uh,
dress and meet her,
Bless it. Yeah.
and I was like, okay, I'll go shop. And
Mm,
then I
mm,
ended up meeting my senior there, luckily.
yeah.
I mean,
Mm,
I'm so blessed in life, I can say.
mm,
And she was like, she used to call me Bacha, you know, as a
mm,
nickname. So, what happened, Bacha? You are here. What is
mm,
happening in your life? And I
mm,
narrated her that
mm,
after two nights,
mm,
Friday night is something I have to go,
mm,
and I have to spend whole night, and I'm
mm,
supposed to do all these things. And she blasted at me. She said, "Are you out of your mind? Do you even know what you're getting into?" I was like, "No, no," but I was giving the same answer, you know. But I won't get pregnant, no. So she was like, do you even have an idea what that lady is all about?
uh, uh,
I said, no, I don't know. No, I mean, I thought it's big name.
mm,
She was one of the leading production officers. So I said, no, no, she's a big name and very
mm,
strong lady and all that. I have
mm,
a lot of respect for her.
mm.
She said
Is she
she is
someone we all
abusive.
know?
Sorry.
Is she someone we all know? Any hint?
Of course, I mean, see, there are hardly few lady production officers that time, so I'm sure people can guess.
Uh,
I can't take name. So, and I was like,
uh,
she's
uh,
like, she is abusive in nature. Do you even know what she will do to you?
uh, uh,
I got scared.
mm,
I said, okay, then what am I supposed to do? I said, it's nothing knowing you. You are rejecting this offer
mm,
because they will shoot everything
mm,
and you will get trapped for life.
uh,
So everything and anything you are doing with her will
mm.
be video shot,
Yeah.
and eventually they will blackmail you.
Mm,
And I was like, now what I'm supposed to do? She said, you're
yeah.
supposed to say no. You say
Yeah.
I fall sick and you don't go. And she has a big ego. Once you don't go, you will never be called.
Mm,
So then I took a chance. I said
mm,
maybe I will be end up losing some work, and which I did.
mm,
After that, I never got work from that
mm.
production office. But at least I was safe because I didn't got trapped for
Yeah.
lifelong
Yeah. Yeah.
into that racket.
Mm, mm,
And the
mm,
racket works like this.
mm.
Uh, they will shoot the whole night,
Yeah.
and then eventually what happens is she will then refer to her preferred people or partners or whoever you want to
Yeah.
say
Yeah.
from her circle,
Mm,
and then you're supposed to go and please them as well. Eventually all this will be photo shoot,
yeah.
and then there is a rate card which has been made. Can you
Oh
imagine? I have
my God.
seen that website myself.
My God.
because one of my friend was working in the production office, so
Mm,
she called
mm.
me late hours when everybody had left the office, and she
Yeah.
showed me that website
Uh, uh.
wherein a proper rate card is made of people who get trapped into this, and you are
Rate
rated
card
from.
as in how good she is or how bad she is or is something
Yeah,
like
I
that?
mean, yeah, all these people, because you get tested and tried by these people, so
Oh,
then they will tell whether you are a plus, a minus, b, b plus, and then there will be a price tag made,
my God. Terrible.
and per night that will be
Mm.
your rate, so you know where you're getting into.
Yeah, yeah.
and
That's
and anybody and everybody, name it,
unbelievable.
yeah, it
Yeah.
is. I mean, you name politicians, you name policemen, you name everybody,
Okay.
businessmen, and that's where you get supplied,
Okay.
and that's how this racket works.
Mm.
So that's the very reason I thought, kids should be aware of. The
Yeah.
second third tip which she gave me was, even if you're going for an audition,
Mm.
one rule very clear: you're not
Yeah.
supposed to eat and drink anything which is offered there.
Mm.
Because now at least people are aware, drugs and
Mm.
everything.
Mm.
That time when I was working, this was not in news. Nobody
Yeah.
knew what was happening behind the scene.
Mm.
So I was only told that you're not drinking anything. If somebody says, you say I'm fasting, or you
Yeah.
say that I'm not keeping well, so I can't
Yeah.
have it.
Mm.
She didn't even tell me it is a drugs. Because she thought I'm so naive that I will end up saying, "Oh, you're giving me drugs." So yeah, because I was a kid, no.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I thought, maybe I will tell my colleague, and then she
Yeah.
will go and tip the
Yeah.
production office. So I said, okay, so I'm not supposed to drink. So I was following her rule completely. Whatever she says, I was blindly
Enough.
following her. The third tip came that when you're going for a changing of costume, you're supposed to switch off the light of the room and change, because there are hidden cameras inside,
Yeah. Yeah. Mm.
which will
Mm.
again,
Mm.
track you.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I forgot,
Mm.
because I was so excited that I'm now, this
Ah,
is for the movies. No,
yeah.
I
Yeah.
shared about my television. I'm talking
Yeah.
about the movie. So I was very excited. Big production of this movie. I'm getting a
Mm.
chance.
Mm.
I forgot. But
Mm.
grace of God,
Mm.
the light went off. So it was dark. So I came very happily out. But my friend got trapped into
Mm.
it,
Ah,
about whom I wanted to share. And she got trapped very badly in the same audition.
yeah.
And from there, her cycle started. And then
Mm.
she used to narrate things which used to
Mm.
scare a hell of me.
Oh.
And it was very sad we couldn't save her. This one fine day, we found her dead. Her dead body was found on the Borivali station. And we couldn't even do an FIR.
Mm.
And that was first time when it was a alarm bell for me that I don't think I should be going ahead with this industry.
Mm.
So it was terrifying experience, which I don't think I will ever forget. And that's the very reason why I'm part of this movement. Because I remember you saying that Janvi's friends are, you know, not even opening their mouth. I can
Yeah.
understand their situation, ma'am,
Mm.
because the whole system was against us.
Yeah.
You think what would have happened to her would have happened to me easily. They could have tracked me. So there was no way we
What you're
could
saying
save
is,
her.
so what you're saying, Nivedita, is that see, whatever you didn't do, she did, and she got
Yeah,
trapped. Ah,
she got trapped.
mm.
So I was lucky enough, no, because the light went off.
Mm.
In her time, the generator was on, and
So
from there,
blackmailing was
her
happening. Mm.
absolutely,
Mm.
absolutely. That's how they trap you.
Yeah.
That's how their whole carrot for you is, we'll give you work, and the
Yeah.
work they end up giving you is that, they will
Yeah.
push you into the
Ah,
system,
yeah.
and it's
Which is
very
pushing you into,
unfortunate.
prostitution.
Exactly, I didn't want to use that word. Yeah, that's true. So unfortunately, that's where you end up landing, because if you don't have a godfather, you don't come from a good, well-known family. You do. Of course, I know there are girls who come from well-to-do family and they never experience any casting
Yeah.
couch
Yeah.
experiences. So it's not that uh, all of them get into this.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
but like there are people like me who would
Maybe,
say,
Nivedita, maybe because of this, these South Indian actresses used to come with their mothers, like Hema Malini and all. They would come
yeah,
chaperoned with mothers and all.
I am coming to that. Even I took my
Yeah,
mom for shootings. I
yeah,
was about
yeah.
to come there, so I was telling
Mm,
you about my friend's
mm,
incident. So we found her dead body at the Borivali station,
mm,
and
mm,
even today I haven't. After that, I couldn't even face her mother. So that that regret is still there on my soul, and it will be there. So I thought SSR is the moment I will do my part.
How old was your
And
friend?
she was elder to me.
Mm,
I think she was 21, but she was working for a production office. She was not into
mm.
even acting.
Yeah, yeah,
But we knew it was her boss and his friends. One night
yeah.
after work, what happened to her? So obviously she was gang raped and killed. But we couldn't do anything. Just couldn't do anything. And when when I'm talking, I'm getting choked because
When you
I know
say,
someday I'm going
yeah,
to.
yeah. When you say she was at the station, was she under the train, this thing, or was she on the platform itself that you
No,
found?
her dead body was lying on the bench. They just threw her and went. And the police was they were they were like they were not even filing FIR. Can you imagine? They were
Terrible.
so cold, and as if they were threatening us indirectly that if you open your mouth,
My
we
God.
know where you stay. We can track you
Mm,
easily.
mm, mm.
What could we do?
Yeah, yeah.
And even her mom didn't have the courage to fight. So
Terrible.
yeah, it was because that time even social media was not that
Yeah, yeah,
aggressive, and nobody would have heard us
yeah.
because everybody
Yes.
thought, oh, this industry is of glamour,
Yeah,
and that's the very reason you're also there.
yeah.
So there were people from production office saying, see, think about your career, think about your future,
Mm.
your work, and you don't want to end up getting like this.
Like this.
So all kind of threats, emotional,
Mm, mm,
physical.
mm.
So yeah, so it's very difficult to fight the system.
Yeah, yeah.
Not
Mm,
everybody can.
yeah.
So yeah, while I went ahead for the audition for the movie, I
Mm,
remember the step that you're not supposed to drink or eat anything. And audition went well. I was selected as a finalist, and there was another actress. She got into the main role. She is the one whose lip surgery went wrong eventually. One of the known actress, and then she stopped working. So I'm sure you will guess her name too. And she and I were sharing the room, and obviously she got. I don't know whether she agreed or not because she comes from a well-to-do family. So I don't know what she did. But
yeah,
I was then called separately into casting director's room.
yeah.
Now here's the interesting part.
Mm,
And then obviously a juice was offered to me, which I said no, I'm not keeping well. I feel
mm,
like puking, so I don't want to drink. And then he said, oh, I liked your work. You are beautiful. You remind me of that actress. And I was like, okay, here it goes.
yeah.
And then he said, you know what? First, it starts with beta, how,
Mm,
see,
mm,
just see the verbiage,
yeah,
how it
yeah.
changes.
Uh,
So, beta, I really like your work. You're very
mm,
hardworking. And I have seen your moves also in
mm,
dance.
mm,
So I'm very impressed.
mm,
And I was very happy. Okay,
mm,
I'm getting
mm.
the work. But it's just that you have to be friendly
Yeah.
with me, and I was like, friendly means what are you trying
Mm,
to
mm.
say?
Yeah.
So he said, no, no, nothing. You know what? Let's do one thing. Let's try to know each other better. Why don't you come with me on Saturday night? We will go to
Mm,
my Lonavala
mm,
farmhouse.
mm,
So now this is how I'm counting. Okay, now hear
mm,
me out very well.
mm,
I said, okay, it's just two nights, let's enjoy, let's have
mm,
fun
mm,
together. And then the work will be yours. It's only that, if you
mm,
if you are capable of impressing me, if
mm,
you can make me happy,
mm,
at the most what I have to do, I have to just introduce you to the cameraman.
mm,
Okay, now that's the count two.
mm,
And
mm.
obviously he will also join, and we can have fun together. And once we both are very happy with you, then the assistant director will meet you. So that's count three.
Three.
And this is actually I was doing in my head. Okay. And he's very nice man, very
Mm,
good, so he will explain you the whole role and everything.
mm,
You and obviously he will check you out,
mm,
and then he will guide you also from which angle you look beautiful.
mm, mm,
And I was like, okay. And then it is just matter of the director.
mm.
And director has a very, very huge farmhouse somewhere
mm,
else. Yeah, there, if he loves you, it's just matter of a week
mm.
you have to spend. And once we all four, all of us are
Mm,
very happy, then comes then comes the producer, and he can take you out of India.
mm,
It's just matter of altogether put a month is what you have to explain your family. And I was like, what am I
mm.
going to end up becoming
Yeah.
after all
Uh,
this?
uh, uh,
And because
mm,
the fight starts within you now, when
mm,
you're fighting with your value system.
mm,
I said 1 month.
mm.
And what are they talking about? 5 people for one movie? And then the money game starts.
Mm,
See, it's
mm,
a matter of 3 movies, and
mm,
it is 50 lakhs
mm.
contract. And that time 50 lakhs was huge, and
It's a
for
big
a
amount. Yeah.
teenager,
Mm,
yeah, it is. He
mm,
was like, you know how much time it will take in your life to earn so much money,
mm,
which is a fact. Even
mm,
today I haven't earned 50 lakhs at one go.
mm,
Here was a check in front of me.
mm,
All you have to do is just 5 of us and a month. And then, if in case, the actor likes you, and then the story starts, it's on and on and on. If he likes, go there. If he likes, go there. And then,
Everything except the script.
yeah, script is not relevant.
It is not
You need
important.
you need to show talent in bed.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
need to show talent in bed, not in front of camera.
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh. And I was like, okay, the one more tip, the fourth tip which she gave me before going was, in case something like this happens, you have to be very sweet. You
Mm,
can't show your anger to them.
mm,
And I mean, even if you feel like slapping him on his face, you are not becoming violent or aggressive.
mm.
You are just showing that you are equally stupid,
Yeah.
and you will accept the offer and you will come back.
Mm,
I said, why should I be doing that? If I feel like I was a very aggressive kid, I will give
yeah.
back one. So he said, if you do that, you will get, they can be aggressive and there
Mm,
will be no one to save you inside the room.
mm.
Or they will track you and then they will take the revenge.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is another tip for the teenagers. If in
Mm,
case you get trapped into such situation, the best escape is, oh yes, sure, why not? I will think about it. I'll come back
mm.
to you. I have
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
number. I will call you.
Mm,
Can I call you late night? Can we have
yeah.
some chat? Just say yes to whatever they are saying and come out safely,
Mm.
because inside
Yeah. You're
the
trapped.
cabin,
Yeah.
nobody is going to save you, because even your
Yeah.
voice cannot be heard outside. That's
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
their cabins are.
Mm.
So then, because then suddenly his hand was around my waist, and from
Oh.
beta it became darling. That's how they start
My
talking, and
God.
that's where
I
you
don't
get the
know.
tip
Mm,
that, oh
mm,
come on darling, you should
mm,
think
mm,
about it, you're such a
mm,
sweet. And then he's asking me, are
mm.
you a virgin? And I was like, I don't know what to say. Then obviously I was
Uh,
like, yeah, I
uh,
was.
uh,
I said, oh, very good. And I
uh.
was like, what the,
That is one more plus point.
yeah, that was a plus point for him.
Yeah.
So, oh, then it will be very nice. And then he
Mm.
started giving me sex education tips.
Oh,
I was like, no,
my
what am
God.
I supposed to do?
What a monster. Mm,
Oh, of course. I'm telling you now, it was like, and I was just waiting that somebody should enter the room so that
yeah.
I can
Yeah.
go out, and nobody
Mm,
was coming to
yeah.
help. And then suddenly I said, if you don't mind, can I use your restroom, please?
Yeah.
He said,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, go, go. So
Mm,
then I said, oh, I forgot my keys outside at the reception.
yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
just go and pick them up and
Mm,
then I'll come back to you
mm,
if
mm.
you don't mind in some time. He said, yeah, yeah, you can call me late night,
So that
sweetheart.
means during all this time, you were very calm and cool because you already knew
Yeah.
what was going to happen. Yeah.
Yeah, because of my
Mm,
senior, she,
yeah.
that's
And you
what
had
I'm
been
saying.
warned. Yeah. Yeah.
I was been trained.
Mm, mm,
Otherwise, if there was somebody else, if she would have slapped him for putting
mm.
his hand around your
Yeah.
waist,
Yeah. Yeah.
you
It
might
would have
end up
become,
getting
yeah.
raped,
Yes. Yes.
because then they will take revenge, no?
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
insulting them. So that's how the trip went well for me.
Mm, mm.
And I had a narrow escape, is what I can
Yeah.
say. But this is how they trap you, and it's
Yes.
very scary,
Yes.
if you don't know how to act smart
Yeah.
at the right
Yeah.
time. The presence of mind is most important that time.
Yes. Yes.
And don't get flattered or carried away with all their sweet talks, is what I want to tell the teenagers.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
So
now the
yeah,
third
yeah,
incident. Yeah,
this is what you said about actresses coming with their parents as well, isn't it?
yeah, that's where I'm
Uh,
coming to.
mm, mm, mm,
So then I met her again and I told her
mm,
this is what happened and you saved me and thank you very much. And yet
mm.
I got a small role in another movie.
Yeah, yeah.
So I told her that. She said, again, if you're going for a outdoor location shoot, or if you're going for such kind of an audition, never
Mm,
go
mm,
alone. This is my
mm,
tip to the teenagers.
mm.
Always carry somebody. And I'm not saying please carry your friends, because your friends will be of your age and they will be
Yeah.
equally stupid as you are.
Mm,
So do not think that, oh, I can, take my this friend or my
mm,
boyfriend
mm,
and take them for the auditions.
mm,
And especially if your boyfriend has a habit of smoking or drinking, please do not take them, girls especially,
mm, mm,
because you don't know what they will mix in their drink and give him, and
mm.
he will be sleeping and you will get molested
Yeah,
at
yeah,
night.
yeah, yeah.
So that's a tip which helped. So
Mm,
always take your parents or somebody
mm.
elder to you,
Yeah.
whose presence of mind will work, who are
Mm,
cautious enough to tell you what to do, what not to do. So I took my mom there for the shoot.
mm,
And now how they trap the parents is where I'm coming to.
mm, mm,
So we went there whole day. Morning 8 to 8 was a shoot, and I think my it happened that by afternoon my scene was done. So
mm,
I requested, can I do the early backup and leave, because my mom was
mm.
getting tired because we were
Yeah.
waiting, we were not doing
Yeah, it's a
anything
long time.
else.
Yeah. Mm,
Yeah.
mm,
So suddenly there was one person. I will
mm,
name him because I have a gratitude for him. He saved me that day. So his name is Mr. Mishra. He is uncle of Manoj Bajpayee.
mm,
Okay.
mm,
And he came and he was trying to be friendly with us.
mm,
And somehow my mother's maiden name is also Mishra. So somehow the UP connect came, they
mm.
somehow got connected, and they belong to the same some
Yeah.
village,
Mm,
grandfather, something like that. And
mm,
I was like, they were talking, both of them,
mm,
and I had to be preparing for my scenes. So then he suddenly said, oh, you know what, I treat you as my sister. You are like my sister because we are from the same village, and she's like my daughter.
mm, mm,
So all I can tell you is that is the shooting done, the scene has been done. She said, yeah, but they have requested me to stay back
mm,
for the night shift.
mm,
So he got curious, why are they requesting you when the scene is already done? She
mm,
said, no, the director liked my daughter very much.
mm,
And he said, your daughter is very beautiful, and
mm,
we think we should extend her work and we will give
mm,
her more scenes. And
mm,
that's why you stay back for the night.
mm,
And he got very upset. He went, I don't know, he went and inquired something with the director with his own friendly way. He understood what was going to happen at night with us. And he came back very tense. And he told my mom that whatever happened, do not stay back.
mm,
Leave.
mm.
And my mom was like, why is this man? My daughter is getting work. And why is this man telling me to leave? Obviously, she doesn't know him. She's meeting for the first time. Why should she believe him, and why she should not believe the director?
Yeah.
And the director was after every half an hour, 1 hour, he was taking out that my mom is comfortable, I am
Mm,
comfortable,
mm,
we are getting the best of the treatment. And my mom was very impressed
mm,
that, oh, he's such a nice man.
mm,
So why is this guy telling that? And
mm,
then he started nagging, absolutely nagging, and telling my mom, look, you are like my sister, she's like
mm,
my daughter, I'm telling you, don't take my name, otherwise I will end up losing the job, but please go. And then somehow my mom got the sixth sense. She said, no, if this man is saying something, there must be something wrong.
mm, mm.
It's
So
eventually later on.
was the studio very far away?
Yes, I think if I recollect, it was Mud Island.
Mm, mm.
So that's where most of the shooting
Yeah,
happens,
yeah, yeah.
for the
Mm,
movies. And yeah, so
yeah.
it's far away from the city. You have to
Yes, yes,
take the local bus, then come to
yeah,
the station, and then take the train and come to the main
yes.
city. So that's what he told my mom, that we don't have our own car here, and we
Mm,
have to take the local thing. And the local thing will eventually, after 7 o'clock, it is very difficult to get a
to
bus and
get
all
it.
that, because you can't escape after
Yeah.
7. The
Mm,
the route and all that, they get shut.
mm,
So that's where
mm,
the shooting was.
mm,
So you tell some excuse that I have not informed my husband and we can't stay back and we have to go. We'll come tomorrow morning.
mm, mm,
That's the only thing you should say. We'll
mm,
come tomorrow morning, but now we are going. Okay. And my mom did the same thing. Obviously, the director was not happy. And by 6 o'clock, we left. And that was a very narrow escape again. And later on, then he called up. He had taken our landline. He ensured that we reached home. He spoke to my mom and then he spoke to me. He said, "Beta, this line is not for meant for
You are.
girls like you. We come from this kind of a family and this, and you know what was going to happen to you."
Mm,
And
mm,
I was very curious to know what.
mm,
I said, they had trapped you both.
mm.
After 7 o'clock, there was no way you could have got the
Left.
public transport,
Mm, mm, mm.
and they were planning to rape you and kill you and your mom. And that
My
was
God.
that that was a thing when I took a decision that I am going to quit this
Mm,
industry.
mm,
And this was like fifth year of I had spent in this industry.
mm.
5 years. I mean, I got work, I got name, fame, money. But when this happened, I said, I am
That's enough.
ending up encountering this everywhere I'm going.
Yeah, yeah,
So there is not a single place where such situations are not happening. And plus,
yeah,
my
yeah.
friend's incident happened that was on the same lines. So all I want to tell teenagers is that it's good to aspire,
Mm,
dream, chase your dreams, but be sensible, have
mm.
common sense, and remember the steps what my seniors gave me. And
Yeah.
there were people like angels like Mr. Mishra.
Mm.
I thank him if in case he's watching this video. I really thank him. I owe him my life, my mother's life. That there are people like this in the industry, you end up meeting who are nice, but who will not end up jeopardizing their career for you, but at least they will try to save you.
Want.
Listen to them. If somebody's warning you of something,
Yeah,
it is
absolutely.
for your good.
Mm.
Yeah. So these were the three incidents I thought I should share
Yeah, yeah.
that will help
See,
the audience
Nivedita,
and
yeah, so
parents.
you've been hearing a lot of these things that have been happening in Sushant Singh's case.
Yeah,
So it must be like a deja vu for you when you hear about Disha, isn't
absolutely,
it? Uh,
absolutely. I had so many sleepless nights, I can tell you, because this is very common finding
uh,
somebody. I mean, see, that's what I keep telling my friends also. Mumbai is such a peaceful city that we don't kill anybody here. Everybody commits suicide out of depression. So that is the only story you will hear from the police because
mm,
it's the
mm,
complete racket.
yeah.
Whom are you going to fight against?
Mm, mm,
You name the policemen, you name the bureaucrats, you
mm,
name
mm,
the legal system,
mm,
politicians. What are you going to do? If you
mm,
come from a middle class family, they will crush you.
mm.
So it is very difficult to survive in that system without getting into this.
But
So
one thing I don't understand, Nivedita, see, if they keep destroying people like this and eliminating them, who will be left?
there are fools like me who will again come now. I mean, there are people every day they get new faces.
Mm, mm,
So I think there is a plenty of supply for them.
mm.
And
Can you
look,
can you speak
mhm,
about one producer without naming her? Okay, who's quite well known, and every case of suicide or they call suicide is connected to her in some way because a lot of the people in the serials have been acting in her
yeah.
teleseries. Yeah, could you speak something about her without naming her? Whatever you've heard.
Now, what should I say?
Yeah,
I mean,
whatever. If you
it's
want
not
to.
only men. It's not only men who are involved into this. If that is what people think, I mean, women are also equally because they are also equally aggressive and they are business women.
Yes,
For
yes,
them, you are just a check for them. They
yeah,
will send you somewhere and they will get their cut.
yeah,
That's how they see you. You are a product for them.
yeah,
So till the time they can use you, they will use you. And once you're done, you're thrown out.
yeah,
So the lady you're talking about is also a hardcore businesswoman,
yeah,
and she has her connections, very strong connections.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
I don't think it's going to be easy to get hold of her because
yeah.
there won't be any proofs
Mm.
because she knows truth of everybody. So every politician you name it in Maharashtra,
Yeah,
I'm sure she will be having their videotapes.
yeah, yeah.
So I don't think anybody will even try to
Ah,
even raise a voice or finger towards her. So what you're dealing with is a very scary
yeah.
situation here. and that's why they are trying their level best to suppress this movement.
yeah, yeah.
But unfortunately they are not, and luckily people are smart enough now to understand that this nonsense cannot be continued. I
Does this
mean, middle
happen to
class.
male actors also? Dead is asking.
I'm sure, ma'am. How
Yeah, yeah.
if it can happen for a small role like mine,
Mm,
I don't know what they have gone through.
mm,
I mean, we have heard stories, but the problem is that I cannot say that. I can
mm.
tell you offline, but I won't be able
Yeah,
to tell you
yeah,
online
yeah,
what the story. And they are very terrifying stories of
mm,
them also.
yeah.
And I don't know from where did this those ladies get strength to come back
Mm,
and again face the camera next very
mm,
day.
yeah.
So yeah, they have suffered a lot. I know. I mean, everything. I mean, every success in life has come with a price,
Mm.
and a big
So
price
the
for
whole
them.
thing, Nivedita, the whole thing seems to revolve around power and money.
Yeah, big time, man, big time. And obviously sex, you
Mm,
can't
mm.
rule out that, because
Yeah.
of, I think the kind of drugs they take, I'm
Mm,
sure they get into that high, and the only outlet or the easy way of a
mm.
trade-off
Yeah.
is that way. So
Mm.
possibly, yeah, it's becoming a flesh trade industry. It
Yeah.
had,
Yeah.
but there
Yeah.
are some production offices of late,
Mm.
which are not from the traditional ones, you
Yeah.
know. So I have heard about them, and they are doing a good job.
Yeah.
Where because my friends are still in the industry, so they
Mm,
keep telling me,
mm.
So even if they are ready, the production officers say, no, no, we don't get into all this. It's a
Yeah.
pure work.
I also think,
So
Nivedita, see, with the shift, of the movie industry to UP under Yogi Adityanath ji, I think good changes will come because there'll be a cleaner environment.
I hope so, ma'am. I am not
Yeah.
that very optimistic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'll tell you why.
Mm,
Because it's only the industry which is moving as per the location. But
mm,
what about the politician and businessmen who have got used to all this?
mm, mm.
And they are the one who are paying for all this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Their mindset have not changed.
Yeah.
It's all about changing of mindset. It's not about the industry location.
Mm.
So it will take time. Obviously, the people will have to put the pressure. What they are doing is a fabulous job now, and they will have to continue doing that. And maybe after 10, 20 years is what we see. There
Mm.
will be a proper cleanup is what we are looking at.
Yeah.
So
Nivedita,
now I
see,
don't see.
when this incident happened to you, what was your mother's reaction, your parents' reaction?
They were terrified. What do you think they would? They are like, this is what we were trying to tell you, but you were not listening. What would we do if we were trapped? My father
So
asked me, and I said,
somewhere they knew, yeah, they knew that this is where it's going.
all middle class know, na? Why
Mhm.
that industry? Why middle class talent never? Nobody, no father will tell his daughter, no,
Yeah.
go into the television industry. They will say, no, that's
No,
not
which is
the
very
line for
true.
you.
What you're saying is so true. Middle classes don't allow their daughters to go. You know?
Oh, because they know what it is. But
Yeah,
it is
yeah,
the teenagers who have to understand that
yeah,
that every name and fame will come with a price. And
yeah,
are you
yeah,
ready for that?
yeah,
And at what cost do you want to? Until
mm,
are you open to bending your traditions and your culture?
yeah, yeah,
And is it worth it?
mm, mm,
Because I never felt that I was equivalent to 50 lakhs.
mm,
I
mm,
mean, I really thought about myself that I'm I mean, much more valuable than this, and I
yeah,
will not end up getting into this. So
yeah,
that
yeah,
answer you have to give at
yeah.
that moment.
Mm,
Nobody can take that decision for you.
mm.
So that's a choice life
Were
will
you ever,
always throw at.
yeah, were you ever aware that there was child trafficking as well in the middle of all this?
Ma'am, unfortunately, I had a very limited experience
Mm,
and a very small role. So
all,
possibly
yeah,
I
yeah.
never got exposed to that.
Mm.
So I
But
don't
did you
know.
hear
I can't
something?
comment.
Did you hear?
No, 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 no.
Mm.
I
At that
didn't.
time, it
I
was not.
didn't.
Yeah, yeah.
No, it must be. Look, I don't know.
Mm.
So I have no answer for this question of
Yeah,
yours.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but casting couches, I experienced it. So and
Mm.
that's why I can tell you that this is what
And
had
you also
happened. And
heard, see, you remember we had a session with Levena Lodh,
yeah,
yeah, Mahesh Bhatt's nephew's wife. And
yeah.
whatever she said, would you agree with what she said?
Absolutely, bang on. Because that's what how I mean. I remember she also mentioning that when there were such scenes, when
Mm.
the actors and actresses are very uncomfortable,
Yeah.
bed scenes
Mm.
especially,
Mm.
they end up giving you something you're supposed to smoke,
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I was thinking it's a cigarette. It's a normal
Yeah.
cigarette.
Yeah.
And then after that, the actress becomes fine and she gives the scene. So that's how I was perceiving it. It's now eventually you start realizing it was a drug, and you go on a high and you don't know what you're doing. And then in that situation, they make you do everything.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you are shooting in front of 100, people.
Yeah.
It's very uncomfortable if you have those values to do what it
Mm.
is. I remember saying no to one guy. We were just supposed to have a love scene, and I was supposed to say I love you to him at the end of the scene. I refused. I said I didn't like him first place. That was my tantrum. I didn't like his face, so I'm not going to say I love you. And then the assistant director was like holding his head. Now what to do with this girl? Because half the scene has happened, so you can't
Yeah.
remove me. You're supposed to continue with me, and I'm like, no, I'm not. I didn't like him. I'm not saying he is giving me some wrong vibes. I'm not going to do. And then eventually they took a close up
Duplicate.
shot with me. Yeah, a close up shot with me, and then
Mhm.
I said I love you to the camera, but I didn't say it to him.
Yeah.
But imagine having a lip kiss or a bed scene, and you're supposed to do this with everybody and anybody, because anybody will become your husband, and you're
Yeah.
supposed to act as a wife. I said, what nonsense? How long will I continue saying no, and how long people will take my tantrums?
So in
So
a sense,
it's very
Nivedita,
difficult.
you're happy. You're very happy that see what's happening now. For example, as in the NCB and the other federal agencies hitting hard and trying to unearth the drug racket and everything
I
else.
think they're,
You must be
ma'am, they are just scratching the surface. If you
surface.
if you if you are thinking that, oh, they are doing a great job, trust me, it's
Yeah.
not even 10% what they have touched.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's that deep. And I don't know. I mean, if
But at
this
least
center
they made a
government
start.
continues,
Yeah. Yeah.
sorry.
At least they made a start.
I Yeah, they have, but
Mm.
I think they are going to face they are going to face a tough fight ahead. It's not going to be
Yeah.
easy because the problem with this entire industry is they become personal, and then they start hitting you back to your family
Yeah. Yeah.
and everybody you love. It
Mm.
doesn't just end up to you
Yeah.
eventually.
Yeah.
So they can obviously they can wipe you out completely,
Yeah. Yeah.
and there is no way you will be able to even name them. So and
Yeah.
that's what
See,
it is.
Nivedita, it's not only about the industry in Bombay. It's also the industry in Kerala, in Tollywood, that's Telugu, also Tamil Nadu and Karnataka. See, the same thing is happening. If there was a very terrible incident that happened in Kerala, where an actress, she was raped in a moving car, you know, and this was done, they say, at the behest of an actor because she was acting smart and she had exposed something that he had done, you know, which put him in a bad
Exactly.
light, you
This
know.
is what I was telling you, that they will take revenge. When I'm the tip which came from my senior, that you will not be aggressive. You will show you are naive, you are stupid, and you will accept their offer in front of them, and you will very quietly move out of. Do
Yeah,
not end up becoming Spart or Jhansi ki Rani and you say, I will fight back and I'll teach them a lesson. Please don't get into all that.
yeah,
That's what they do.
mm,
So yeah, I'm not surprised by what you are saying.
mm,
Used to happen often,
mm.
and we used to keep hearing this news. So because it's a very small place, everybody knows everybody. I mean that there is a famous saying in the industry that we all are part of the same family,
Yeah,
which is a fact because you don't know who is sleeping with whom and whose
yeah.
kids who are. So that way, yeah, they're right because they are part of the same family because
And you will also
everybody
see,
is with everybody.
Nivedita, before we did you on our show. See, I had covered the news, and now you will notice that a lot of whitewashing is happening. Everybody is becoming a saint in Bollywood, whether it's
Absolutely.
politicians or actors. They're all becoming saints, and all
Yeah.
are being seen as VIPs and chief guests and everything. So the whole thing now, Sushant will be having nightmares wherever he is. He must be turning in his grave, seeing all this nonsense that's happening, in his,
Absolutely.
name.
But
Terrible.
I'm sure it is his soul who was
Yeah,
strong enough.
he's dead.
I mean, what fight he has given,
Yes,
I mean, we
absolutely.
can't imagine
No,
also fighting
Nivedita, see,
this
what you're saying
monsters.
is you're also a very brave soul because you've done, what you've undergone is a very strange, sort of a strong journey, and you were
Yeah.
very young and still you fought it. and you took the right path and you came out of it, without being injured, you know. So that's a
Yeah.
very brave fight that you put on also.
Yeah, I think I was really blessed. There was someone who was protecting me from somewhere because
Yeah,
back, I mean, somehow somebody used to come at the last minute and I was getting
yeah,
saved. So
yeah,
obviously there was a luck factor which didn't happen in case of my friend,
yeah,
and we lost her.
yeah,
So yeah, I always felt, maybe my parents' blessing were there, the prayers were heard in my case, and I mean even their values, they were so strong. The upbringing was so strong that
yeah,
I learned to say no at the age of 21. I refused and I walked out. I mean,
yeah,
my journey and SSR journey, I keep saying it was
yeah,
almost reverse.
mm,
I went to the industry and then I went back to the studies and I
mm.
pursued my MBA and I made a career there. And he was into the studies and he refused studies and he went back to this industry.
And you won't believe
Possibly,
it, Nivedita. See, you won't believe it. Even today, when I was just, surfing the net, there are very short clips showing that Sushant Singh was a drunk. I don't know who's putting all this nonsense out, and what is the purpose of this? If a
to be
person has a
PR, no?
drink, fine, that's fine. People have drinks, but if you're trying to show this actor who did so much in his life in a bad light, that is a shame on the person who's putting the video.
No, but they will do, they are being paid for it. No, what do you expect if the PR is being paid heavily for this?
Yeah.
Because they want to suppress this moment at any
But do you
cost because
think, but do you think they can sleep at night peacefully after this?
that's why they need drugs, no? Why do you
Yeah,
think they need drugs? So that they can sleep, no?
yeah, yeah,
Otherwise, the kind of work, I mean, if you kill somebody and then next day you
yeah,
go and party, is it possible, humanly
mm,
possible for anybody to do that?
yeah,
It leaves a scar on your soul. So
yeah.
every time they're raping a woman,
Mm.
gang raping a woman, what do you think the next day morning they will be doing? They will need
I'll
drugs
tell
to
you
be
something,
normal.
Nivedita. Yeah, I'll tell you something, Nivedita. This is a case that I'll cover in my future video. It's about a young girl in Kerala, a very innocent girl, who was offered a job, and instead she was put into prostitution. Small girl, young girl. She was innocent, and she was marketed for many years till the truth came out. Okay.
Yeah,
Now, see, you won't believe it. The people who have gang raped her or raped her, some of them died by cancer, you know, or many of the people have died terrible deaths. So don't think that the court is only, in earth. Okay.
yeah,
There are some other courts
actually.
also above
Yeah,
watching all
yeah.
this nonsense.
Law of karma will always work, ma'am. And I've seen that working.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
in case of my friend also, I can tell you that the producer and his friends,
yeah,
his young son met a car accident and on the
yeah,
spot was gone.
yeah,
So this is how life will come back to you. Your karmas will be settled here only.
yeah,
And we were very happy after we got that because that's what we thought that was the best
yeah,
revenge life could do to him. And then after that, he was completely shattered. Then
yeah.
he got into alcoholism, and I'm sure he might be dead by now because we didn't keep a track of him later. But yeah, that happened to him. A young kid. I think what 19 years old, son gone. So this
See,
happens.
even
I
even
mean,
in the case of even in the case of Janvi, see, when we were reporting that case, one of the
yeah.
viewers wrote that, see, a similar incident happened to her nephew. He was called
Okay.
out for a party, and then
Hmm.
the same thing happened to him. He never came back. You see, so
But
it's like a pattern.
it's scary. I don't understand what kind of a pocket money, parents are giving to their kids that they can
Yeah,
afford drugs.
absolutely.
I mean, we never got this kind of a money. We had to fight for it, and yet our parents were like, no, you don't need so much money. Why do you need so
Yeah,
much money
yeah,
in your hand at such a young age? So I think somewhere parents will have to realize that even if you both are earning, you're doing well, but don't spoil your kids for just because of the peer pressure.
yeah,
Be cautious of what liberty you're giving to them, because everything will come with a price, if
yeah,
not this way, some way other. And my parents used to keep a track of everybody whom I am. Even today my
yeah.
mom knows whom I'm talking to. Even she knows that I'm doing an interview with you. So you need to be transparent with
Yes.
somebody at home. So even if I was wearing short dresses or everything, my mom knew everything. Even if she was hiding it from my dad, but she knew everything, what I'm doing, where I'm going, which party, where I will be found, address, my friend with whom, her number. So that way, because she was friend to me, I was open up to her that, mom, this is what it is, this is how it is, this happened, that happened. So I think parents will have to, rather than giving them a mobile and, You spending your life, let them have their liberty rather than sit and talk to your kids. Spend every day half an hour to them. Ask them what happened in the whole day. How many parents are doing this on a regular basis? It's a must. Please talk to your teenagers. I know they will shy off. They will like, please give me space. You
Yeah.
don't need to come. But just talk to them as a friend. At least keep a track what they are doing, and please don't spoil them with gadgets and pocket money, because then this is what will happen. You are inviting evil inside your life. So even if they're fighting for money and everything, you be firm like my father was. He was very firm. I said, nothing doing, I'm not giving you. Maybe because of that, I explored this world. And I was lucky enough. Not everybody was. So that's why I thought the
See,
owner's lines.
even Nivedita, even an actor like Govinda,
Yeah.
is a man. He faced so much of problem. I mean, what are we talking about women? Even men. I mean, who were facing so much of success, you know?
Ma'am, if I say that law of karma is acting in his case, what will you do? That's my answer. Because he was never clean. And everybody knows that. So if we are sympathizing with these people, they should be asking this to their conscience, that when they were at their high, what did they do? Because people from the industry know everything. So I'm sorry,
Yeah,
but I don't have very high regards of him.
sympathy.
Yeah, I can't, because I know the true picture. Anybody for name, you name them, I don't have any respect for anyone. So
So,
yeah,
Nivedita,
they are big
on a
names. Yeah.
yeah, on a closing note, could you just give us a small piece of advice to both the mothers and the youngsters, and then we close this session?
Surely. Just be with your kids, believe in them. If they want to pursue this career, go with them if you can. Or at least if you're sending somebody as a bodyguard, please ensure that that person is a well wisher of your kid, not one who will take the money and he will be the one who will be supplying your kid to somebody. So be cautious, keep a watch on your kids. And to the kids, I want to say, please, presence of mind is the most important thing when you are stepping out of the house. And as I have given you small hints, I'm sure there will be a learning curve from you also. You will learn from your experiences. But never ever become aggressive when you are alone. Don't take, big steps that, oh, I will become the hero in real life and fight back. That doesn't work. It's all melodrama on the screen. In actual life, nobody will come, and there are no retakes also in life. So just be cautious where you are, what are your limitations. If you can run, please run. There is no problem in running away from the situation, and eventually then fighting.
Yeah,
Even Shivaji Maharaj has done the guerrilla warfare. So please don't shy off, don't become unnecessary heroes,
yeah.
and invite trouble in your life. That's what I will say.
Thank you so much, Nivedita.
Thank you,
That
ma'am.
was a lovely session with you, and you've
Thank
spoken your heart out. And I'm sure a lot of people were listening and will take your advice as well. And also, the fact is that you've exposed one more industry. It's a very big, what do you say, important for people to know what's happening, and a warning as well. Thank you so much. Good night,
Thank you, ma'am.
Nivedita.
Thank you
Yeah,
for giving me
thank you.
opportunity.
Yeah,
Thank you.
bye.
Bye bye.